So this is the third part, I think, about when I got Baker acted. At 11 p.m. you go to sleep. 6 o'clock in the morning they wake you up, right? But they turn on the TVs, and I told them I don't want to hear about traffic in the news. That is garbage. I don't even turn on the TVs here in the house, right? I read a book about Danielle Steele. She wrote a book about World War II, and the name of the little boy in the book is called Toyo, and he was a Japanese slash Anglo United States citizen. I mean, he was the father. The Toyo was a little boy born to a Japanese girl, and the father of the boy was a white United States citizen, and it took place in California. And the girl was sent to a concentration camp for Japanese people during World War II. And her boyfriend, the white man, was a student of her father at a university, if I got the story right. So when the war is finished, she is let out of that place, and she somehow, maybe the war wasn't completely finished, she was working as a housekeeper to rich people in this fictional story. And she noticed that the rich people, they didn't even, there was no reason to know that there was a war going on, because they kept up with their skiing in winter, their ice skating, or their activities. Nothing in their life changed. There were no bombs going off. Their children were not in the war. There was nothing to... In one way, she mentioned that her life had been changed by the war because she had been put in what I'll call a concentration camp. Is like a jail, right? You're not allowed to leave, as far as I'm concerned. The Indians, they were put in reservations, and I was put in a hospital jail. So like, they all lost their freedom in a way. Now with the Indians, it's been funny to me, or at least I heard that they received the worst land possible for farming and things like that, in that respect. So I think that's Oklahoma reservations and things. So 100 years later, oil is discovered underneath their Indian reservations. And so now oil used to be bad for farming, but it's good for... I think gasoline comes out of oil. I have no clue. I think so. So that just makes everything more interesting now, because now the Indians could sell oil to the United States of America, or the petrol companies. And I was talking to you about the TV. So like, the TVs on were horrible for me. And I'm sure that even though the great population that was in there watched TV shows, no one had the remote control. And I just can't stand it. When you're accustomed to freedom, like even when I watch YouTube, I watch whatever I want. If there's a commercial on YouTube, I press the mute button, and then I enjoy myself. I even open up a new tab and then I come back to it, but it's only 5 seconds, so I don't see it as that annoying, the YouTube commercials. All right, so let's go through that binder that I was gonna go do. I did save this. Monkey replaces French professor. First step in budget cuts. Now, there's a monkey in the center of the classroom. When I saw this, I actually was maybe in my 20s, but I thought that this was true. On the blackboard it says bonjour, the green blackboard, right? Now, some people will say, Daniel, you're 20, 25 years old, 29 actually, 30 years old, and you really think that this monkey really can replace a French professor? Well, this is called being gullible or being simple-minded. A friend, now I know what he meant when he called me that I was a true blue or a very blue. I mean, I have no clue what's going on, all right? It's like my cognitive skills, my brain thinking skills have not started or have not grown. A monkey teaching a French class. I thought it was true. But I was wondering, how did they do that? I was really so... There's a movie called As You Like It, 1939, 37, 38, by As You Like It from Shakespeare. And there's a fool that travels with the two women in the movie, and the fool falls in love with one of the women, or not those two women, but he falls in love with another woman, right? A girl that he meets in the forest. And there's a young man that's very shy, and he's like this, and the fool says to him, "Do you like this girl?" And he says, "Yes, I do." "Do you want to marry her?" "Yes, I do." And then the fool says, "Are you a fool or a wise man?" And then the young man says, "I'm 25 years old," because he asked him how old he is. "Oh, you're ready for marriage," says the fool is interviewing him. And then the fool says, "Are you a fool or a wise man?" I am wise." Now there is a very innocent person, right? And then the fool confuses the young man and says, I think he says, the Bible says that a fool thinks himself wise, but a wise man thinks himself a fool. And the young boy, the young 25-year-old man, he's trying to understand what the other guy says. And then the older one, that's maybe 35, he says to him, "I will marry this girl, and you will never come here again, or I will extinguish you." So he threatened the young man, and the young man took off running. So I told my son, the young man's mistake was that he had no business talking to that man at all, the older one. He was supposed to say to the woman, "Do you want to marry me? Yes or no? You want to come with me? Yes or no?" But that was not her father, so he had no business talking to him. In fact, he could have said, "I don't want to talk to you." All right? Because I remember I had a neighbor that was okay. This girl Marta had two brothers, and they were polite. I was their neighbor. But one time there's a third one among them. Maybe there was only, yeah, there were all three of them. All three boys. They're all outside, all right? Boys are outside, girls are inside. It's almost like a dance hall in the movies. This is Chicago, by the way. This is in Chicago. So the boyfriend of Marta, he's hanging out with the two future brother-in-laws. And I stopped by. I said hello. I had no business saying hello, all right? Because the guy says, or they tell me, oh, he's Marta's boyfriend. I said, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And the guy's like, "Arr." And then he says, if you talk to Marta, I'm gonna make you wear your bicycle, because I had my bicycle with me. And I laughed. I was like, now I'm like, that guy was a bully, a verbal bully. So now that I'm 40, that's why I don't talk to people. So I talk to you on this video. And if you're 12 or 15, you really don't have to talk to anybody. Just avoid people. What kind of advice am I giving, huh? You see, there are good people and there are bad people, and there are bullies. And so I want to wake you up. Wake up your thinking. Long ago, there people used to say, in the movies at least, about the Three Musketeers, are you a friend or a foe? An enemy or a friend? So the best way is do your business and get out of there.